So today I thought I would do something that I have been meaning to do but I've put off for like a really long time. I love thrifting. For some reason thrifting is the only option that's available to me, probably because it's the cheapest option, and I don't know, I just don't really like any of the current styles. So I thought I would like buy a little more old-fashioned vintage stuff and show it to you guys. So here we go. First up, I have this red gingham top. It's really cute, right? Initially it was meant to be a skirt, but I didn't like the way it looked as a skirt. Technically you can still wear it as a skirt, but I altered it to fit like a top so that I can style it differently depending on what I want to wear. Now I've mostly just worn it as a top, but if I want to, I can definitely wear it as a skirt. A little detail is that when I was altering it, I ironed it and I set it to the wrong settings, so as you can see here, it's a little bit burnt and it's quite scratchy, and yeah, it scratches my boobs when I wear it. I thought it'd be really cute to style it with white puffy shorts because it gives it that little bit of poof that makes the baby doll silhouette make sense. Another way to style it is the lumberjack flannel situation I have going on. I thought it was really cute because it had this like contradiction of like masculine style with like a more feminine style. Yeah, so I thought it was really cute. And I also styled it with a brown jacket because for some reason I want to make my closet more adult womanish, and I thought the brown jacket just made me feel like one of those like female police detectives that you really admired in like all of those like Hollywood films like Chloe Decker. So that's how I styled it, and I thought it was really cute. Also, I tried to style it with this red shirt that you'll see later on in the video. I don't know if it works. The reds might not be the same shade, so it looks a little strange, but we could workshop this idea. I'm not sure. I feel like there's potential. Okay, something's going on here. It kind of reminds me of Vivienne Westwood, if you know what I mean. On to the next piece. Lumberjack flannel, of course. I thrifted this lumberjack flannel at Lucky Plaza. It was really cute. I really had been trying to hold myself back on checkered gingham stuff with patterns, squarish patterns, because for some reason I am just like drawn to it, but obviously I failed, and this is the flannel I have now. The problem is once I bought it, I realized that it didn't really go with my closet as well as I thought it would be. It went really well with like reds and blues, but I rarely wear them. So the one thing that I style it with is my high-waisted jeans because I think that the high-waisted silhouette just works well. Another way, I thought it was really cute as like, it reminded me of like what you wear after a one-night stand. Not that I've ever had a one-night stand, I'm still like a virgin, but have you ever seen all those like Friends with Benefits movies where there's one scene where she hooks up with the guy and then she comes out and she wears something like that? I'm sorry, I don't know, but like I thought it was cute. You know, if I can figure out another way to style it, I would, but the problem is it's just too short that my ass hangs out when I wear it like that. So okay, the next piece is actually, it's kinda a thrift flip. It wasn't really a thrift flip. I had this design in mind, and then after I finished my finals, I went to the fabric store and I saw this white stretch fabric on sale at the clearance aisle, so I bought it and I made my design come to life. Very cute, I know. I really like the design and the way that I made it so flowy and like relaxed. The only problem is that when I sewed it and created the design, I failed to account for how a t-shirt is normally made, and so now if I ever move around too much, I will definitely have a wardrobe malfunction, a nip slip at the very least. So I thought it looked really cute with like blue denim shorts because it just made sense to me for some reason. I think it was just sort of nice in that it was really relaxed, but the shorts kind of gave the outfit a little bit more structure that just made it make sense. I also thought it would be cool to pair with the white puffy shorts you saw before. I don't know, I thought it looked like a really cool like relaxed base layer for structured items on top, but that's as far as I went with it. I don't know, it looked a little bit like pajamas to me. Next up, we have a red shirt. So originally this was actually a red t-shirt that I didn't really wear, so I just cut the collar off and then I ruched it in the front. If you can see, I made it so that it would create this interesting neckline. For some reason, right after I made this, Sabrina Carpenter had her Coachella concert and her top was like really similar to this one, so I was like, oh my gosh, did I just predict a trend? But I thought it was really cute with like the tie back detail because it just allowed you to have this sort of additional cinched in detail. Personally, it reminds me of Brandy Melville style, and I'm not the biggest fan of Brandy Melville. I know, I'm sorry, but I guess this is like my way of combining Brandy Melville style with my own style, and I thought it made for a really cute outfit. I combined it with brown pants, so I thought the brown and the redness went really well, especially with like a backpack. It just reminded me of like a really casual, cool school outfit. Of course, we have to move on to the corduroy brown pants. It's a really cute pair of pants, I think. I bought it on Depop. I know it was $43, so it was pretty expensive for a pair of pants on Depop, but I really liked the design. Feeling of being a little worn. It looked cool. It's also low-waisted. The problem with low-waisted styles is that I don't know, low-waisted styles might be going out of trend soon, you know. It's all a cycle. It'll all come back to high-waisted jeans, and then yeah, I just don't know, so I hedge my pants now. I have high-waisted and low-waisted pants just to account for all the seasons that might be going on. I also haven't altered the bottom. I believe it has been hemmed before, but I'm a bit lazy, so yeah. Continuing with pants, I have this Levi's super low-waisted jeans. The problem with this is I'm not really sure if it's authentic Levi's because I bought it at some thrift store in Vietnam. I did pay a considerable amount, but I'm not really sure whether it's legit or not. This pants I actually bought on like one of the last days of my trip, so after I bought it, I had very little money left for the entirety of my Vietnam trip, and it was kind of stressful, but we'll set that aside. It's a pretty good pair of jeans. I really like the denim. It's very stiff. It just makes me feel very comfortable. I like that, like, even though it's low-waisted, it doesn't like leave your belly protruding out like some low-waisted jeans do. And I finally altered this and another pair of pants. It was the most heartbreaking moment of my life. Altering it has made me come to terms with the fact that puberty is over for me. I'm never gonna get taller. This is just my height, and I was really sad about this, but apparently my friend was not. He was very entertained by my story because he's 180 cm, so he's never had to shorten his pants. But you don't win everything at life, you know. I also altered these cargo pants. Technically, this is not a thrifted item because it seemed pretty new to me when I got it. You know, Singapore has some stores that are dubiously thrifted, like you're not actually sure if it's actually thrifted clothing or it's just stuff that's been drop shipped and then resold. So this is one of them. Actually, I got this so long ago that I didn't know how to alter pants. I altered the waist, and it has drawstrings. I sewed the drawstrings into the waist, so now I am not able to actually adjust the length of the pants, but we make do with what we have, okay? This has been with me for like 2 years, and I finally altered the hem. You don't understand how heartbreaking this is for me. Also, forgive me, but I've totally forgot. I bought this floral top from Depop as well. It's really nice looking. I think it has this vintage vibe, although the neckline will be a little bit hard to style. The neckline is this pleated white fabric, and I thought it gave this layer of interest and depth, especially with the lace, although now in hindsight I'm not sure if it's doing too much. I like to style it with this like brown skirt that I have that matches the flowers of the fabric, and I also styled it with a brown jacket because I thought the brown jacket just made it look visually more cohesive because it was like brown, although it might be like too warm a shade of brown. I thought it would go really well as like a outfit for school, especially with like my brown backpack. I think the brown backpack just ties everything together and makes it more visually cohesive because there is a matching shade throughout. That's all I have, these items. I really hope that I will wear them more. I find that with thrifted items sometimes it's a bit of hit or miss. It's good to be able to thrift items in real life so you can really get a feel for it, but the problem is when I thrift outside I tend to forget about my closet situation, but I can get my sizing right. When I thrift online, I remember my closet situation, so I can choose the pieces that are appropriate for my closet, but the sizing is always a little iffy. I I lucked out in that the sizing for all of these items are fine and they seem like wearable pieces for the first time, so maybe I'll wear it more. But only time can tell, so maybe you'll find out.